guys. This is Teresa from It's All Gravy with Teresa. And we are going to make some bread and butter pickles today. As always, you know, I'm big on making sure we wash our hands, wash our hands, wash our hands. Our counters have all been bleached down, and we've got all of our stuff out here prepped and ready to go. These cucumbers actually came out of our garden. We started a garden this year. I'm trying to slow things down and get back to a simpler, easier lifestyle. Not necessarily easier, but simpler, not so stressful. And I'm hoping that we can convey that to you, that it's not near as scary as you think it is. So hands all washed. Cucumbers, I'll get one of these here that's already been washed and dried, and we just cut the end off, and I like to cut both ends off, and however big you want your slices. I will say if you get them too thin, they're not going to have that little bit of crunch to them. So we just do these, and I think the recipe for this is for 5 pints, and you need 5½ cups of cucumbers. And you put these, you do your cucumbers, you slice them up, and you put your salt on them, and you put them in the refrigerator for an hour and a half with ice on top of it. And just like magic in the movies, we have cucumbers that have been in salt and ice for about 2 hours, which is a little bit more, is not going to hurt anything. So we're going to take the ice off of them, and we're going to rinse this salt off. So we're going to put a little water. And I'll be making 2 batches today, but we're just going to do this one and show you how simple it really is. So I do a lot of things with my hands. We're just mixing that up, mixing all the salt up. And I love the smell of fresh cucumbers cut. That's probably a little bit crazy, but I do. So we're going to put that through our colander, so we don't have a bunch of water, and we got the salt off of them. So there are those. We're going to let them drain for a minute while we mix up our mix over here. And our recipe tells us that we need, this is not something, I'm learning how to can again. I did it with my mother years ago, but it's probably been 40 years. But it's like riding a bicycle. When you get back into it, it kind of comes back to you. It's what I've learned for me. But I still do have to use the recipes, where my mama didn't used to have to. She just put it all together. But it's 5½ cups of cucumbers, 1½ tablespoons of salt. And that's, we cut these up. We sprinkled the 1½ tablespoons of salt over the cucumbers. We put those in a bowl, and we put a dish towel over top and covered the dish towel with ice and set it in the refrigerator for at least an hour and a half. We've took those out of the refrigerator, took the ice off, rinsed the salt off, and now we're going ahead to the next steps. In a saucepan here, we are going to put a cup of sweet onions, and I love Valdelia onions, so that's what's in here. And I kind of just chop mine every which way. I like onions, so it's actually a little bit more than that in there. Then we're going to add 1 cup of sugar, white granulated sugar. And I love these cups. You know, I went for years using a teacup or a whatever I had, because I'm not big on measuring. But since I've been trying to measure, these are great. I got them from Pampered Chef. So 1 cup of sugar. And 1 cup of white vinegar. White vinegar. Put that in here. And a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. And the neat thing about these cups are, I think they call them liquid cups maybe, is that you can set it down and when you look through it, you don't have to pick it up and look at it. You look through it and get the right measurement. So a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. A 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And I told you I kind of like to improvise. The recipe I have calls for light brown sugar, but I had dark brown sugar in the cabinet, so that's what we're going to use. And it says packed, so I'll just put it down in here and pack it. And a little bit extra ain't gonna hurt. Makes them good and sweet. And next we're going to do 1.5 teaspoons of mustard seed. So 1, I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe I'm going to do it this way. 1.5 of mustard seed. I've got, I have a little mustard seed necklace that my oldest son, Jeremy, got me for his first time when he was in school, and he went to a, where they get to go shop for themselves, a little cross with a mustard seed in it, and I've still got it, for the mustard seed, the faith of a mustard seed. A 1/2 teaspoon of celery seeds. Let's get our 1/2 again. A 1/2. And I'm going to tell you a neat little story about this. I run to Kroger's. I had to go to the doctor this morning, and I run to Kroger's to get the stuff to do this. And looked everywhere for celery seed. All through all the spices, up and down the aisles. And I thought, well, I'm just going to have to improvise and put something besides celery seeds. And went down to see if there was any cake mixes on sale, and there was. So I come back up, and right there by the almond flour, look at there, celery seeds. So don't ever give up. All right. And I don't know why, but I like rounded spoons. Kind of the old saying, if a little bit's good, a little bit more is better. Got that. And then we put 1/8 of a spoon of turmeric. And this is supposed to be good stuff for your arthritis. I had never tried that, but I keep saying I'm going to. So 1/8. Okay. So that's all of our ingredients. We're going to put this on the stove and heat it up. And the way we're going to do these pickles is called cold packing. And what you do, I'm using this big old pot because I've only got this size here to mix the stuff in. So this is my pressure cooker that I invested in this year. And my granddaughter already has her name on it. So the cold packer, what you do is when we get the pickles finished, we're going to set them down in here, and they will boil. After it starts to boil, you let it boil for 10 minutes and then let it set for 5 minutes. And then you take them out and they're going to be ready. They'll be sealed. So we've got the rings and the, if you want to come over here, Clint, the rings and the lids. Here's our lids and our rings. And they're back here. We're going to get them going. You boil those, so they're going to be good and hot. Our jars have been sterilized and cleaned, and they're ready to go. And this we've got on the stove. This is our mixture that when it starts boiling, we're going to pour our pickles in here, our cucumbers. And then the hot stuff, the hot product, we're going to put straight in the jars, put the lids and rings on, and put it in here in the water for it to boil and seal the can. Seal it. So we just got to wait for all this to boil. Again, we'd like to thank everybody for your likes and shares, and to know that we're listening to your suggestions and your comments. So we're trying to shorten things so it's not so long to have to listen. Trying to stay on task a little bit better. Jeff Watson, the cards we did for the recipe, I got a marker, black marker, at your suggestion, and I got it in black marker this time. So we are listening, and we'd love for you all to keep commenting, keep liking, keep sharing. If it's something you like and something that you're interested in to go on this journey with us, go to our page. It's All Gravy with Teresa, and like our page. That way we know how many people we're dealing with and how much stuff we can do, and maybe hopefully you guys will have more suggestions and more comments on what you would like to hear and what you would like us to do. In my mind, we're planning on, I'm really want this generation, my grandchildren, to know how to survive with less. And that has really been on my heart this year. That's why we started a garden. And I'm polishing up my skills of canning and putting up product for my grandchildren to know how to do that. And we've also invested. We built a chicken coop, or my husband did. I just told him what I wanted. We built a chicken coop, and we have chickens coming this week. So we'll be able to have our own eggs, and they'll be dual purpose. So when they get tired of laying, then we're going to use them for chicken. We're going to use them for meat. And I want my grandchildren to know that you don't have to do like I did and work 80 hours a week. There is a way to survive and not do that, to be able to enjoy things. For me, in my generation, it was all about making it. And thanks to God and a lot of good people, and like I said, I'm a good guesser. I was very successful in the restaurant business, and my children had a good life. But you can go to the ball games and you can do things. It doesn't all have to be about making money. Although money's nice, but you don't have to take everything else away to make it. So this is all boiling, or it's getting ready to boil. It's cooking. On my new range we talked about the other day. Loving my new range, and I'm already checking out the sales about getting a new refrigerator that I want really bad, but we're on a mission to get out of debt. So we have actually paid off all of our credit cards, and the next big item is to pay off the vehicle that I drive. And we had done that, had it paid for, but with the extra children we have, we were having to take 2 vehicles everywhere we went. So we went in debt a little bit to buy a vehicle that will haul 7, which is still not enough sometimes. 7's our basic. That's what we've got on a basic day. So that's our, we are putting back and saving and cutting back a little bit and not eating out as much. And every little bit that we save is going towards that goal. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. In a year's time, I've paid off those credit cards, and we've really not done without. We still eat out about once a month instead of 4 or 5 times a month. It has meant that I have to cook more. And you have to kind of get creative to be able to get the kids to eat. But I'm hoping I can show you all how you can get a pound of hamburger, or when it's on sale, get 5 pounds. And I'm going to show you 5 different things you can do with that hamburger. We're going to try to do some meals and freeze them for all you mamas who are still having to work and try to take care of everything. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to sit down for a few minutes at the table and have some meatloaf and mashed potatoes, and all you got to do is warm it up. And always macaroni and cheese. I'm going to show you a good recipe for macaroni and cheese. Again, it's getting close. I'm hoping you guys will have some suggestions on what you would like to see us cook. We're going to do a banana pudding. We've had suggestions for chicken livers, fried chicken livers, and we had the best chicken livers at Teresa's. I have not eaten them at Teresa's now, but when we were there, we sold 40 pounds of chicken livers we started serving at 10:30, and from 10:30 until 2, we would serve at least 40 pounds of chicken livers and sometimes more. And that sounds like it is a lot. It's a lot of chicken livers. But that's something that has all kinds of protein and iron, and it's so good for you. And a cute little story while this is boiling. My older boys, I've shared with you all that we had to stretch things a whole lot and make things last, and we had to do with less. And you could go to Deemer's Market, I think it was on Adams Street, and at that time you could get a cup of chicken livers for like 39 cents. And I'd take those and beat them out flat and flour them and fry them and make white gravy, and they thought they were eating steak and gravy. And it was years before they knew the truth that they were actually eating chicken livers. So we can always sauce things up and get our kids to eat. We just have to try a little harder sometimes. Okay, so this is starting to boil. And here is our cucumbers that we've been letting, they said, as much of the water off of them as you could. So we've got that. We're going to pour them right in here. And we're going to wait for it to start boiling again. Ooh, that smells good. Don't it, Clint? It's when that smell-o-vision will come in. Okay, we're going to let that start to boil, and I'm going to go ahead and make a place here to put our jars. I got so much stuff sitting around, it takes me a lot. You don't want to touch the top of your jars. We want to make sure they're good and clean and kept good and clean. I think it said 5. I'm going to set these right here. Get this mushmelon out of the way. And I've got a scoop, no telling how much gravy this thing scooped up over the years, but I brought it with me. And it's going to come in handy today. I also, with my canner, when I made that investment, it come with this little set of stuff. So I've got a funnel to put on my jar that I'm going to use. And I've got a can. I can set them down in the water with this. Set my jars down in the water. This is another one to be able to pick up the jars if they're hot. And this gets the air bubbles out. And this is a neat little thing, so you don't have to burn your fingers off. It's a magnet. and you can dip it in the water and get your lid, so you can put your lid on there. So it's been a cool little set. Okay. So let's see if we can get this going. Oh yeah. And this recipe is like a lot of things that we're gonna do. This is the basic bread and butter pickles. After you figure it out, you can add whatever you want in here. If you want them warm, you can put jalapenos in there. If you want garlic, we love garlic. We eat a lot of garlic. You can put garlic in there. Pepper flakes. I mean, just all kinds of stuff you can add to it. Alright, got juice. And then I'm going to get this little poker. I don't really know what the proper name is, but we're going to poke them and get the air out. And it says to leave about 1/4 of an inch. So, and I think maybe we've got that. And again, none of this is scary, and it doesn't have to be exact. You know, it's not near as scary as you think it is. My lids are starting to boil. So again, I'm going to take my handy dandy tool. And this big pot's kind of in my way, but we're going to make it work. There's me a ring. Oh, and there's me a lid. So you don't have to touch it. It's on my little handy dandy thing. I'm gonna put that right on there. Get my towel. Put my ring on. I want to get it just hand tight. And then we're going to put it in this water. Here it is. So you take this and you pick up your jar. Looks pretty. And we're going to put it right there where the water covers it. And release it. And we're going to do that over for the 4 more times. So after you do that, you put them in here. You bring the water to a rolling boil, and you let it do that for, when it starts to boil, for 10 minutes. For the pint jars, if you're doing quarts, you do it for 15 minutes. After it boils for 10 minutes, you turn it off and leave the jars sitting in there for 5 more minutes. And then take them out and set them on a tray somewhere where nobody will mess with them. And over the next 12 to 24 hours, you'll hear them pop and seal. And they'll be ready to put up and for you to enjoy all the rest of the year. I love you guys. This has been so much fun for me. I hope the same for you. And we will be coming to you soon with some banana pudding. Thank you so much. Remember to like, share, comment, and like our page. It's All Gravy with Teresa. This is Teresa, and from It's All Gravy. Just a little quick note on the bread and butter pickles that we just made a video of. When we finished them up, we only got 4 pints. So I'm getting ready to make another batch just by myself here. And I'm going to put 1 cup of white vinegar and 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. And that should make up the difference where we didn't have enough for the 5 pints. Just didn't want you getting crazy if you didn't have enough to put in there. Just another thing of nothing's that important. Just improvise. Again, thank you all so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.